Yes, we're back. DevinandDoug.com is our website. Our studio line, 906-341-4927. Once again, 906-341-4927. And I saw a call come in on Skype there, Doug.
Yeah, we have a guest from the southern Michigan bunker in Monroe County, Randy Bain, who probably could be considered a serial cyber bully if this legislation ever gets passed that we just talked about. Good morning, Mr. Bain.
Top of the morning to you, Doug, and Devin there. How you doing? This is R.L. Bain down in the Strategy and War Room bunker.
The reason I asked you on is Devin and I have been talking about the film subsidy, $50 million that was cut out in the House and ended up the $25 million doubled in the Senate. And of course, Randy Richardville is your state senator. But you've done some research on other states who have offered these film subsidies and kind of come up with some facts about the return on investment for these particular states. Can you share a little bit of that with our listeners?
Sure. And just in case I missed something here, if you Google BainReport.wordpress and then type in film subsidies history, I have compiled all that research information in one page.
The Bain Report. All right.
Yep. And if you say Bain Report, space film subsidies history, and if you read all that information on there, you'll clearly see this is not in the best interest of we the taxpayers here in the state of Michigan.
And Devin can put a link to that on our website, devinanddoug.com, too, for the people who want to go there and
absolutely. And it's going to take you some time because I've compiled a boatload of information on this. It's capital cronyism at its worst.
So is it like, are we doubling our money on this, or how's it work?
I like that. You make me laugh this early in the morning. I like that.
We'd probably make you laugh even if we said we were breaking even.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yeah, not even close. There's economists in other states. Other states are either reducing the subsidy or eliminating it in its entirety because the return on investment just isn't there. I mean, it's flat out crony capitalism, and it's the only person that's going to benefit really is Richardville and his cronies. I mean, the players in it are just unconscionable. The Raleigh Film Studio in Pontiac that went belly up and missed its bond payments. Now we, the taxpayers, are on the hook for that through the state pension fund, which is underfunded, by the way. You all know, you've heard about the Allen Park Unity Studios that put that city into receivership. Emergency
right.
Management.
We've talked about that one here on the
Hangar 42 on the west side. I know National Committeeman, former State Rep Dave Agema, did a big thing on that one. I didn't divulge in that one so much, but yeah, I am aware of it, and there is a link from the Mackinac Capital Confidential in that Bain Report film subsidies history page that talks about the Hangar 42 fiasco. To me, it's just it's payment made for services rendered. I mean, Granholm started this back in 07 or 08, and this was all originated by one of the biggest Democratic fundraising donors, contributors, Lehman Nielsen, and Rahm Emanuel's brother Ari. They're two Hollywood big shots, both Democrats, along with Alfred Taubman and John Rakolta. They're partners in that Raleigh Film Studio. And what I just found...
Alfred Taubman, for those who don't recall his name, he was the owner of the Michigan Panthers of the USFL.
Mm-hmm. And also, he's had some legal issues, and also that's pointed out in that Bain Report film subsidy history. A little shady, by the way.
So what kind of return are other states getting? Are they getting any of their money back?
Yeah, it varies. Some states are getting 30 cents on the dollar, some 40. I mean, it varies, but it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. And as one economist put it, we shouldn't even be talking about film subsidies. We should be talking about eliminating them, because return on investment just isn't there.
Did you happen to see Ken Braun's article in M Live yesterday?
No, I missed it.
He's talking about if you can do film subsidies, why not ammunition subsidies? Something that we actually need to have manufactured.
Well, there's nothing in it for the politicians.
That's right. And he was being facetious. I don't think he
right.
supports any kind of crony capitalism, but it would probably make more sense if you were going to do it at all to create businesses that Michiganders, or help create Michiganders building new businesses and hiring people that actually are going to raise their families here and put their kids in our schools,
Right. But the bottom line is, it's not the government's place. I mean, the government needs to get out of the way. The only thing that government can do, I mean, you hear these politicians stump on the campaign trail. It's all about fighting for you and jobs. Well, that's bull. I would have added the extra word, but I know we're on the air. No, because the only thing they can do is create an environment conducive to job creation. And what I mean by that is less regulation, less taxation, just get out of the way. That's the only thing they can do. So whenever you hear a politician tell you they're going to fight for you and create jobs, they're lying.
Well, and one of the beauties about the United States is each state can do and try things on their own, kind of like test things. And I mean, we can look to Texas and say, why are jobs being created there? And it's exactly the reasons you just stated,
Right.
Low taxes, low regulation, freedom to work. We've got one of the three, but that probably isn't good enough.
No, it's not. I mean, if you look at Indiana, first of all, they're ahead of the game because they pass right to work first. Second of all, they have less regulation, less taxation. They have lower housing, lower cost of living, all the way around. So, I mean, right there, with all them other things, right to work by itself isn't gonna do it. It's really not gonna make a difference.
And the more heavily the state is unionized, and we still are one of the most unionized states,
Right.
The higher the cost of living is.
Right.
And that's where disposable income is the most important statistic, because after you pay your required living expenses, how much money do you have to spend?
Right.
And that's where these other states beat us pretty handily.
Right. And it's an individual right. If somebody wants to join the union club, hey, that's their prerogative. It's just like mine if I want to join the YMCA. I mean, so I don't think banning something like that would be necessary. I mean,
Well, sure.
But there's some stuff that I had it all in the Bain report, film subsidies history. But there was something that I caught out of the assembly in California where I believe they eliminated them subsidies. So that's why I think Hollywood is going to all these other states. They can't get to the public trough in California, so they're going to all these other states, making these promises that they can't keep.
Right.
And then there's one research piece I did. They claim so many jobs, and the Michigan Film Office and Lansing and the Michigan Economic Development Authority, they claim the same thing. But this one piece I did by this economist, he stated that most of these jobs that they're touting, they come with the production company. In other words, they're not people from that state. When the production company comes from California, they bring so many jobs with them, but they're counted in the calculations. It's sort of like the unemployment numbers that are fuzzy. Right now everybody's saying, Michigan's 8%. Well, that's just not true. The Clinton administration implemented the U system for calculating unemployment, which is fuzzy math. You got U1 through U6. And if you just looked at the flat-out unemployment number without all that garbage, and all them different ways of calculating it, we're probably at 20-25% unemployment here.
Well, I can't argue with it, and I guess hope isn't hiring.
Yeah, right. I just had a friend of mine call me the other day, and he says, I've been trying. He says, I can't find a job. He says, there are no jobs out there. I said, oh, really? I was being facetious, but so it's not. I went around yesterday, and I'm going to be doing a piece on it in the Bain report and posting it on Facebook, of course. I went around and took pictures of all the empty businesses here in Monroe. In light of the good senator riding his white stallion named Pander into Detroit to save the DIA art, which is going to cost us taxpayers. I don't care how you strike, okay, because the government doesn't have any money. They have our money. And I'm going to do a piece showing all the empty businesses here. You know, we had Blockbuster closed. We even had a Burger King closed down. United Furniture, a great big furniture store. I mean, this was a staple here in Monroe. I mean, just unbelievable. Fashion Bug went down. A Hallmark store went down. I mean, stores are just empty.
Well, certainly we've got the same thing here in Escanaba.
You know.
All over restaurants that had been, you know, fixtures in the area for my entire life, gone.
There's 2 different GM plants in Flint that just announced here in June or last month that they're going to close down. So, I mean, you know, it's bad enough the Pulte Group's pulling out and going to Atlanta. But, I mean, you've got things that are, you know, kind of off the radar that are shutting down, costing jobs. ACO closing X amount of so many stores here in Michigan, costing 300 or 400 jobs. Who is the other one here? There's a few others, and it's just unbelievable that it's not big news. You know what I mean?
Well, I mainly wanted to get you on to talk about the return on investment on film subsidies.
Yeah,
and it doesn't seem to be reported very well. And people will be able to go to our website and click on the link and go to the Bain report. And he does pretty darn excellent research, and he'll have links to support his research. But we all need to learn about these film subsidies. And, what's interesting to me is how one man who is a Senate Majority Leader can buck almost every, you know, other Republican. The entire House voted to get rid of these things, and I would argue that most of the senators are really not for them either.
Well, it makes you wonder, what does he have on them? I mean,
I would say more like this. I think we all should like pitch in for a plane ticket and get him out, and then he can go and tutor Boehner.
Well, I think he'd make
How to lead a house.
ambassador for Benghazi or Libya somewhere. I mean,
Well, I saw that in Colorado they just turned in twice as many recall signatures to recall their Senate Majority Leader, which, from what I understand, there's never been a state Senate Majority Leader recalled ever, but we might finally see it in the state of Colorado, a Democrat for going against the will of the people and helping pass gun control laws in Colorado. So,
well, I would like to add a little more information on this. Also on that Raleigh Film Studio that went belly up, and the partner, John Ricolta, he's a big Republican contributor. I think he was Romney's national campaign finance guy in 2008. He is a partner in that studio, and just recently, Governor Snyder, favorably referred to as Comrade Snydholm, he appointed him to the Michigan Economic Development Board, or Corp, or whatever you call it, you know, and along with his son, John Ricolta III. Now, wouldn't you think that would be a little conflict of interest there?
Well, it tends to always go back to real estate development and construction.
And he owns one of the largest construction companies in the country in Walbridge.
Yeah.
CEO. But you know, it's the same thing with Granholm. She got paid for her services on introducing this legislation in this scheme that was Rahm Emanuel's brother Artie and this Lyndon Nilsson, excuse me, and she got her War Room TV on Al Gore's old current TV channel. And now, out of MIRS, Richardville is writing a movie or TV pilot about his time in the legislature. So I think he's getting his payment for his service.
Well, thanks for coming on and adding that. Look at devinanddoug.com for links to the Bain report for research on the film subsidies.
Thanks, Randy.
Hey, thanks. Have a great day.
Once again, our website, devinanddoug.com. Our studio line, 906-341-4927. We're out of here for today, Doug.
Have a good one, everyone.